Ciao, everyone. This is Esther, getting ready to go to Sicilia. Ciao, Alfred.
Esther, what are you doing tonight?
Getting ready to take a flight to beloved Sicily. So excited. So, we thought we'd come to you today to talk about some of the important steps to take before traveling to Sicily, to Italy, but really anywhere, right? Alfred, between Alfred and I, we've traveled quite a bit all over the world. So, what do you think, Al? Should we get going?
Absolutely.
All right. So, as you can imagine, there's a lot of preparation that goes into before you board a flight. My number one thing that I like to make sure that I always have a copy of, and I also give Alfred a copy and my mom a copy of my passport and also my credit cards. Very important piece to have. And while you're at it, you probably should also check whether the passport is expired. That's happened to a friend of mine. Went to the airport, expired passport.
It's profoundly important, especially I think it's 6 months before they won't let you. If it's going to set to expire before 6 months, you're not going to be able to use it. So I think that's really, really important. And the other thing, after your passports, I would suggest that you contact all your banks that you have money in and your credit card carriers and tell them that you're going to be wherever you're going to be, Europe, wherever it's going to be specifically, and for what period of time. Okay. I think that's profoundly important, number two. So this is like preliminary stuff.
Yeah.
And
And
also
on
take
that note,
photocopies of your, yeah,
yeah,
wait a minute, take photocopies of your credit cards as well.
yeah, I mentioned that on top, passport and credit card. But talking about credit card, stuff happens. And you can't always count on places having credit cards or the credit card machines are down, which, by the way, happened in Italy last week. All the credit card were down. So it's important to take some cash. Now, for those of you guys who have been following us, you know that I had to stay overnight in Istanbul on my flight here to Boston. And to get out of the airport as an American, I had to get a visa. And the visa place only accepted cash. So thank God I had cash. I had dollars, I had euros. But the point is, make sure you bring some cash. And people ask, how much is a good amount? I would say start out with a minimum of 200 to $300 or euros or wherever you're going to go to.
You can get cash at the Bank of America. I know that for a fact. You can get cash. I'm talking about euro, excuse me. You can get euro also at AAA in the United States, AAA. Or if you go to the most expensive one is those currency converter places that are at the airports. Okay. The
Don't do
best
that.
rate of conversion, the best rate of conversion is at a ATM debit, your own ATM
Yep.
debit. Now, some banks don't even have any international transaction fees. You need to check on that, to see what your limit is, how much you can take out. I mean, that's like preliminary stuff. That's before you put any money, any clothes in your luggage.
Yeah. So, well, good point. Luggage. Speaking about luggage, it's really good idea to invest in one of these things. One of these things that you weigh. This is kind of a big one, and there are some smaller ones. Now, I always suggest for people when you're going somewhere to pack very, very light because inevitably you're going to purchase some things, put it in a suitcase. But when you come back home, you want to make sure you're not overweight. So having one of these is a really, really, really good investment.
Walmart has those, or Target have those for about $10. They're not that expensive. And the electronic ones that you're talking about, I think they're like $15. They also have those as well. If you go to Best Buy, they'll have those there as well.
Very,
Okay, so what
very,
else we
very
do?
convenient. So the other thing that I always do is to make sure that all my medication is updated and filled for at least a month, right? You want to make sure you don't never know what's going to happen. Make sure that you have prescription filled. And also don't put your prescription into the main luggage. Put it in your carry-on. You never know what's going to happen.
Not only should you put in your passport and your prescriptions, as she just said, but you also should put in a change of clothes. in case your luggage gets lost, okay? Which has happened to me many times, okay? And if you have some undergarments and a t-shirt or a sweater, a pair of shorts or a pair of pants, you still can bring in 10 kilos on that carry-on. That's 22 pounds. So that's pretty, that's quite a bit of stuff there, yeah.
And boy, was I thankful that I had some extra clothes when I got stuck in Istanbul, because you bet there were plenty of people that didn't have anything to change into when we had to spend 24 hours in Istanbul. All right, so here's
Wait a minute,
else.
one more thing that's kind of important that's got nothing to do with clothing. What about a converter? A converter,
well,
you know, the
we can do
converter
first. Let's do converter first. Having a international converter, and I don't have one right. It's not in my show and tell bag, but having a converter is a very, very good idea. But you know, Alfred, a lot of hotels will have those available, and you can buy them when you get there. But it's always a good idea to bring it. And I would also add to that.
Here's a hint. Most hotels, which have good televisions for you to watch, behind the TV is a place that you could stick in your USB, your charger, for example, for your cell phone. Usually there's a place that you could plug them right there. But you need to bring one. You should bring one.
Okay. And speaking of, you know, imagine you're at the airport, and a lot of the airports do have, a lot of the places at the airport do have places where you can plug in your phone to charge. But why not invest in one of these? These are chargers, and I can charge two things at once. So investing in one of these handy dandy chargers is also a really good idea. You never know how long you're going to be in a place. You never know, maybe your battery runs out really, really quickly. So having a charger is one of mine.
The other thing too is having, you know, right now I know the mask situation, they just got, you know, you don't have to wear a mask, it's optional, is this and that. I would say that for the foreseeable future, pack several masks, quote unquote, just in case. Okay. And I also think that, yeah, that's my own opinion. I think also on that carry-on, you ought to have things like chapstick, all right, because it gets very dry. You can't bring water in through security. So once you get over on the other side of security, buy yourself some water, a liter of water.
Or bring an empty container, which I do very often. Bring an empty container and fill it on the other side in a water fountain. Because as you know, water can get a bottle of water for like €3.
I don't eat the food on the airline. Okay, so what I do is I make sure that before I go, get on the plane, I've had something to eat, and typically my pre-flight meal is a pizza. I like pizza, but if I do buy anything over there at the little stores, I buy myself beef jerky, something dry that I could just munch on, or some of those mixed nuts or something like that. I don't go crazy on the food, and I never drink either prior to or on the plane, because it's going to dehydrate you. The key to staying, not having jet lag too much is being hydrated, not dehydrated. And getting smashed on a plane will get you dehydrated. That's what
I usually have a couple of glasses of wine. It helps me sleep. So, but absolutely drink your water. Now, one of the biggest things that I've learned during this COVID, because Alfred has had his flight canceled maybe a couple days or 3 days before, is call your airlines before coming. Make sure a day or two ago, I called them this morning, confirm your flight, make sure that you have all the requirements necessary. Because during COVID, you're traveling from all these places. Some countries do require testing, others don't. For me, going to Istanbul to going to Italy through Istanbul, I don't need to get any tested, but I do need to have, and for those of you coming to Sicily or Italy in this period, who knows, things may change on May 1st, but you need to have a travel locator, which basically tells them where you're flying from to and where you will be for the next week or so. So if something happens, they can trace you down.
I also think that you should have, if you're a man or a woman, you should have a foldable umbrella, and you should have a rain cap, and you should have one of those windbreakers that you could put up into a crunchy ball and put in your bag. Okay.
Your
Uh,
carry-on for sure.
you carry them, yeah. I mean, I also think either a sweatshirt or a sweater, even if it's nice weather, is what they call is very important in myself. I think those are very important things. So now what you've done is you've kind of set up yourself financially. You've got your logistical stuff with your tickets done. So now the question is, Esther, what goes in the suitcase for someone who's coming here for a couple of weeks?
Well, depending on the season that you're going to, I always say bring comfortable clothing and pack super, super light because you may want to buy something at your destination. So make sure you keep your luggage very light. I like to bring, things like bug spray because bugs usually or mosquitoes usually love me. Comfortable shoes for sure. Light jacket or a sweater, even in the summer, you never know, in higher elevations. Alfred said rain jacket and umbrella. So those are some of the small things that I like to pack in my. What
You
about you,
know, to
Al?
me, the most important thing to have is comfortable shoes. So I'm a guy that has about 15 pairs of Skechers. I love Skechers. As a matter of fact, at nighttime I even sleep with them. When Esther's not around, I snuggle them in my bed. Okay, I love Skechers, and I also love Converse All Star sneakers or something casual like that. Remember, in the airports, a lot of them you still have to take your shoes off and to walk through security. So I never wear shoes that I have to uh, tie or untie. I'll wear a pair of Skechers slip-ons,
Yeah.
and that's it. I mean, really, that's what I do. How about you, B?
Hey, let me
What do
tell
you
you,
do?
you know what I do? I carry very light clothes, but also clothes that are interchangeable from day to night. So sometimes we don't have time to go back to the hotel. So bring something, so imagine that you'll be out all day, something comfortable, but not too casual. The other thing I was thinking about, Alfred, that when you are going to Sicily and you have a country you're going through, make sure you get some change, some euros, right? So after you've taken out some euros to bring to Sicily or Italy, make sure you buy something at the airport so you have change. Why? Several reasons. Number one, a lot of places for tipping, very easy to tip. Number two, when you get off the airplane, especially in Sicily, you want to get one of those carts to put your luggage in. Well, guess what? They only take those euros. And over at arrivals, you're not going to find a change machine after you get your luggage. So buy a cup of coffee or something just so you have some change in your pocket for whatever reason.
For you men out there, you're probably going to ask me what a debonair and handsome guy like me wears for pants when you go out to dinner. It depends on where you are. If when I go to Rome, I always bring one dress outfit, a couple of beautiful shorts, some nice pants, maybe even pairs of pants, depending on how long I'm going to stay. When you go to Sicily, you don't have to get really dressed up unless you have a pre, an appointment with at a high end place, maybe for a wedding or something like that. But I wear here a combination of cargo pants, either shorts or long sleeve with the long length because I like those handy pockets. pair of dungarees, and one pair of good dress pants. And I think one of the most important thing to bring, and I always think about this woman who sent me an email. She had just fallen in her tub in Taormina and was all black and blue because she slipped. Is I always bring a pair of non-slip sandals with the rubber on the bottom, and those are the things that I walk around the room with. And when I take a shower, I always have them on my feet because I don't trust the showers not to slip. Okay, and I
That's good
always
advice, Al.
hold on to, yeah. Those
Now,
are just practical things. Yeah.
so another practical thing is, we have a bunch of those reusable shopping bags lying around. Well, in Sicily and Italy, they still use those plastic bags everywhere, plastics everywhere. So I like to pack a couple of those reusable shopping bags that you can take to the supermarket with you. You can go to the mom and pop stores. So that's a little bit of a tidbit and useful thing when you're going to Sicily and Italy. And when you're going out and buying things, just put them in there and take them home and then reuse them. Very easy. Hey, Al, let's take some, let me just take a couple of comments here. Leonard says it's going to be interesting how the mask requirements are observed on Esther's way home, especially on the airplane. I would keep the mask. I'm keeping the mask for sure. And I'm very interested also to see how that pans out. By the way, in Sicily and Italy, masks are still required indoors. So Dolores says, last trip to Sicily, I got euro at the ATM outside the airport at Catania. Yeah, but probably a little bit.
There you go.
Yeah, but probably a little bit higher, higher rate. Underwear, good one. All right, Jody DeLuca. If you're going to
wait a minute. Hold it.
Wait, let me
before you
finish
read the
this.
next one, let me make a comment about the underwear.
Go ahead.
Okay. Listen. Remember that the sizes in Italy, European sizes, are far smaller than American sizes. Okay. And when it was underwear, when my luggage got lost, so to speak, I went to the market and I bought double XL boxers. Okay, I wrote a story about this. When I went to go put them on, I couldn't get them over my knees. They were really legitimately a men's medium. So you need to be very careful. That's why I'm saying it's important to have at least one pair of underwear when you carry on. But watch out for the sizes. On the other side of the story, if you go to those outdoor markets for women, I think women's tops and dresses generally run pretty close to size, don't they, Edie?
No, absolutely
They
not.
don't. They're still small.
Same thing for women's. And when it says you need, one size for all, it never fits me. So no, same thing at the market. Small is like tiny, tiny, medium, and then large is something that could fit me. So very, very difficult to shop for size. But it's depending on what stores you go to. But at the mercatos, it's a little bit tougher. Jody, if you're going to be at the beach, bring water shoes. Excellent advice. Something you can walk over the rocks when in the water. Right, because up by us, especially from, let's say, Catania to just south of Giardini Naxos, there's a lot of lava rocks where you go swimming. And for public access, especially where you don't have a Lido, right? Lido are those structures where you can just buy for €10 an umbrella, bed and access, which usually means stairs into the water. Up by us, you'll need some water shoes to get into the water. So very important little tidbits. Tony Patty says,
I
bring one.
Dick's Sporting Goods
Wait
sells those rock shoes. I think Dick's Sporting Goods in the States sells those shoes.
Everyone sells them. You can get them online too.
You could? Okay.
Yeah. Tony says, bring one or more of Alfred's books to read on the flight, an enjoyable way to pass the time on the way to Italy. Tony, excellent, excellent advice. Thank you for that.
I love that, guy. They're available right now. 3 books for $19, free shipping. Go to my website, alfredzappala.com, and order them. Thank you,
Good one,
Mr.
honey.
Patty. I appreciate that.
Dolores says, you say casual, but I found women frequently wear short or mid-cap dresses and skirts. Yeah, I mean, um, you know, there are women in Sicily and Italy that are very, very casual. There are some that dress to the T's and wear high heels everywhere. So, casual for you may mean may mean very dressy for another, but I always just say, forget that. Just be comfortable. Just bring something that you're
I
comfortable with.
I have to be honest with you. I've never worn shorts in either Rome or Florence or any place, any major city. Never. I'm always wearing long pants. Even if it's a pair of black dungarees, I'm still wearing long pants. On the other side of the story, for you men, did you know it's a deportable offense, an immediate deportable offense, if you happen to wear socks with your sandals? Don't do that, especially plaid shorts. Close your eyes and visualize plaid shorts, white socks, and a sandal. And now
Thank
you
you
have the
for that
definition
visual.
of the ugly American. Don't be like that. Don't be like
Thank
that.
you for that visual. Okay, Tony, this is great advice. If you wear contact lenses, bring extra pair and don't forget a pair of glasses. Don't overpack toiletries. Save the space in your bag and just buy them when you get to Sicily. Excellent, excellent idea, especially things like
The
shampoo
parapharmacia,
and cream and stuff like that. You can get it there or just buy a little travel size. You can toss it after you leave and save space for the very important thing that you want to buy to bring home, for sure.
you can buy things for your contact lenses at the pharmacia, the thing that has the green cross on it in every town, or in the malls, the pharmacia. What's the difference between the two is you cannot get prescriptions refilled at a pharmacia, whereas you could at a pharmacia. So that's very important if you have to wear contacts. Okay, but they do sell. Obviously, they sell them here. And if you
Okay,
need
here's
electronics, wait a minute,
wait a
one
sec.
more time.
Wait a sec.
If you
Let me just go to something that you made a really good point about. Before you leave, make sure you call your phone company and see if they have an international plan, because I've heard this so many times. People think, oh, they just go and start using their phones and start using data, and before you know it, it can rack up. So make sure you call your telephone company to find out what kind of a plan they have. For sure, that's important.
almost all hotels, you got to work off your wireless at the hotel with their Wi-Fi passport. But you didn't know this, but most restaurants also have wireless passports. Make sure you ask what their password is as well.
Yeah,
But
but
if you get stuck
also
making an
using your
international call,
telephone.
be
Yeah,
prepared to pay €2 a minute. So it could be very expensive
unless
for you.
you call your company, your telephone company, and find out what kind of a plan. Like Verizon, for instance, has a $10 a day international plan. So that's what I used
But how
for a
much does it
long
cost per
time.
minute? How much does it cost
ten
per minute?
dollars a day covers everything. $10 a day
That's it?
covers everything. That's it. So most places do
I,
have
I
that.
always advise people who are going to be here for extended stays, say month, 2 months, 3 months, buy a disposable phone here and you keep it with you and you just load it up with Euro, which you get at the Tabaccheria. And
Yeah,
if you
but
go to your Trey
we did that.
IT, your Ronix, there's a lot of places, huh?
Yeah, we did that for about a year for me, right? My first year, I had that, but that was just mostly to talk to you. But most people have their smartphone. They have different forms of communication on the smartphone, including WhatsApp or Telegram or all those other Viber, all
Oh, I
the
know,
other
I know.
ways to talk, which you do need internet. So, you know, we can you can use Facebook Messenger, you can use Instagram, but for all of those, you need internet. That's a very important. thing. And some of those hotels, some areas, their internet is terrible, Alfred. You know that.
It's
Some of the
worse than
hotels,
terrible. No, no,
yeah. So
you really is.
relying
You're
on
exactly
that,
right. It is terrible.
so relying on that for communication, I wouldn't. I would go straight for my phone company and ask them for what they have as a plan, because you want to keep in touch with your
Before
family,
you
right?
continue with more of your helpful hints from Esther, comma, I want to do a
And
shout out to
Alfred,
Stefania.
yeah.
I want to do a shout out to Stefania. She called me up this morning. She says, let's meet for a cup of coffee. I want to give you something. I says, okay, because I was going out to buy your stuff for you, or some of your stuff. So I went out and we met. We had a nice cup of coffee, and she gave me some Palumba cake that she got from Patano. That probably was the best Palumba cake I've ever had. White chocolate on the outside, pistachio on the inside. You could break it off and just pop it in your mouth. Far better than the commercial ones. And then she gave me this other thing, and I can't remember what the name of it is, but it was a circular bread thing, and inside of it was cold meat and cheese. That's a very big Neapolitan Easter treat. So for the first time in my life, I had that. I want to thank Stefania for doing that. And I'm also informed by Stefania that she may be assisting you on one or two of your day excursions, huh, Esther?
Yep, for our May tour, it looks like we're going to be busy coming in May doing some tours, our group tours, and also some private touring. So we'll probably work together there as well. And we got to have her on another video for sure. Nick says, this is a very serious and very important question. Can I bring cigars into Sicily?
Yes. But I mean, don't bring them from the United States. Go to the duty free and get Cubans. Kidding me? Get Cubans.
That's a
Monte
good idea.
Cristo #4, Romeo and Juliet. They have great selections at some of these duty frees. Honestly, going back to the States, what can you bring back? That's a more interesting
Well,
question.
look at
You
this.
could bring up, if you smoke a cigarette, you could bring up to 200 cigarettes, and I believe it's 100 cigars, something like that. Okay, you have to be very careful that the cigars are not Cuban. Okay, you can't bring Cuban cigars into the United States for some reason. It's bizarre.
Now,
But
Dolores says, careful taking cigars back to the US. I have a friend who had a Cuban cigar in his pocket and has been on a list of people who need extra screening time. Now, that's very interesting.
yeah,
But Alfred,
yeah.
I mean, you have cigars with you all the time, even when traveling, right?
You know something? I bring, like, I'm going to go home in end of June, beginning of July. I'm going to be there for 14 days. I smoke one pack of them a day. That's 5. So I'll bring with me 14 packs. Now, why do I do that? Because the Toscanella cigars that I smoke here cost me €5.50 a pack. That's less than $6. Same exact cigar in the United States, in New Hampshire, tax-free New Hampshire, is over $13, double. Okay, so I bring my cigars with me, and I'm allowed to do that. There's not a problem, not a problem at all.
Okay, I want to
You
hear
don't smoke,
from
Esther,
you.
do you?
Huh? I want to
You
hear
don't
from
smoke.
I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your travel experiences? Maybe something that's happened to you that you've learned from that you'd like to share with us. I'd always love to hear. But Alfred, you said duty free, and a lot of people have never traveled internationally. They don't know what duty free is. And duty free is basically a place that you can get some high end things, some local things, tax free. So it's a great place to get gifts, right, Alfred?
I can't remember
Sweet.
how much each person is entitled to bring back, but it's over $1,000 duty free,
Yeah.
and you have to declare it on the form if they still have the form. In Boston, they don't even have a form anymore. You just put it in your computer when you check in there. But there's a lot of good deals. You can buy good, even in Rome or Florence or Venice, there's a lot of good deals for you. What would I buy as a first time traveler? Okay. If I was a woman, Of course, if you're in Rome or Venice or Florence, I would buy something leather, whether it's a bag, like I bought Esther a
Yeah,
beautiful
but
bag in
not at the
or a
airport.
belt
Not at the
or
airport.
shoes.
We're talking about
Well,
duty
even
free.
even if some of those places are pretty good, but I'm saying, what should women buy if they shop while on holiday in Italy? I really think that leather things are far cheaper and they're just great quality
Yeah.
to bring back to the States with you.
But honey,
For
we were talking
men,
about duty free.
hats. I think good hats. What?
We're talking about duty free.
Duty free, of course, you're going to buy your perfume, you're going to buy your
Chocolate.
cologne, you're going to buy your alcohol, you're going to buy your, if you need a watch, things like that. They have, it's not like a complete, oh, you get chocolate, Italian liqueurs. Those are the types of things that you're going to bring back.
Oh,
Esther, what
Alfred.
are you bringing me back from Hungary? I mean, from Istanbul. You bringing me back anything from Istanbul?
Maybe, maybe.
Oh,
Not all machines in Italy take credit cards, so important to have cash with you. Dan, that was one of the first things I mentioned on top of
no.
at the beginning of the show because things happen. And I also recommend that you have not just one, but two credit cards. So you have two credit cards. You just never know what will happen. Not all places take credit cards. And as I mentioned before last week, in all across Italy, credit card machines were down for a few hours. So you can
A
imagine
lot
what
of places
chaos.
don't take
But
American Express.
cash is
A lot of
king.
places don't take American Express. I would say some places take American Express, but not a lot of them. Most take Visa and MasterCard. But you know, they have those preloaded Visa and cards in the States that you can buy. That if you're worried about security, you put $500 in there, and then when you come here, when you blow it out, you blow it out. I mean, you prepay for it. They have those types of things. They have them here and they have them there as well.
And Alfred, you have a credit card that doesn't charge international fee for conversion, right?
Right. I
Because
use Capital One. I'm a big
Capital
Capital
One
One
is
guy.
great
I've
for
been with
that.
Capital One for many years. I get 1.5% back on one particular card. So I like using that card because not only do I not get charged any international fees, but I get 1.5% back. So what does 1.5% mean? You know, maybe over the course of the year, it could be $500. Who the heck knows? But it's something. It's better than nothing because you know and I know that those credit card companies kind of sock you. They really do, especially some. They sock you on international fees. That's the big thing is the fees.
The conversion fees are crazy, crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So, Alfred, what am I bringing you? I'm bringing you a ton. First of all, I'm bringing you peeps. You can
Who?
expect some. You can expect your peeps, your favorite peeps,
Peeps. Are those the
and
peeps that Jimmy sent
Jimmy
you to you?
Jimmy said, "Oh yeah, oh
I
yeah,
love
your
Jimmy Ingham.
favorite peeps."
He sent peeps, right?
No, I'm
I haven't
making
had any
a.
peeps in like a
Wait a
year.
sec. I'm making an announcement. No more peeps. No more peeps. Basta on the peeps. Basta on
I
the
haven't
peeps.
had a
So I
peep. I
think I'm
haven't had
gonna
a
look.
peep.
I'm gonna look for a mug for you in
Oh, I
Istanbul.
really, we're just going to say Istanbul.
Istanbul.
Oh, I would really
Pat,
like to have. You want to hear something funny? This is unbelievable. 3 years ago, I like to collect mugs. Okay. So 3 years ago, when she was in Hungary, she sent me a picture of a mug from Putin. There was Putin's picture on it, right? So I was like, oh, because at that time, Putin was a halfway decent guy. So I says, oh, this would be good because I could drink my Russian vodka with my Putin mug, all right? So she brought it for me. I think she had to walk a mile to find it, but and she was sick, as I remember. So she brings me back this mug for Putin. And for a couple of years, I have it in my bar over here, and I'm drinking my Russian vodka. Then all of a sudden, the troubles start, and the first thing that goes is my Russian vodka. And then the second thing that went is my Putin mug. So, Esther, whatever
listen.
you do, don't get me a Putin mug. Okay, please, I
Well,
beg you.
that ain't happening. for sure that's not happening. But it's something pretty from Istanbul. When I was over there, and we did that. I did that whole episode where I showed you the airport in Istanbul, which is unbelievable. And there's so many shops and things to buy. So I'll find something very, very cool. That
How was
airport
the
is great.
price for Turkish Airlines?
By the
How was
way,
that price? Was it good?
by the way, speaking about pre-flight things, make sure you have enough time when you're transferring. Make sure you have at least 1 hour. I like to have 2 hours to find your next gate when traveling from country to country and you have a layover or something. Make sure you have a minimum of 1 hour. And it's so much fun walking around airports and looking at shops, having a coffee, having a little something to eat or drink to break up your flight.
Let me
The
give you a
Istanbul
practical
flight.
tip.
Wait a sec. The Turkish
Somebody
flight.
with a bad
The Turkish
somebody with
flight.
a bad leg, Esther. Okay.
Yeah.
What I do is because I have a bad knee, okay, and I'm too much of a chicken to get it replaced. And don't send me any emails about getting replaced. I'm just not going to do it right now. So what I do is when I check in, I ask for extra time to get onto the plane. All right. And they give me extra time. I usually can board right away, which is great for me. And I could always have a space over the overhead luggage. But, okay, if it's really bothering me, you could ask for a ride. Okay. Now, when I was in Amsterdam, I knew that the ride was like a half a mile, right? He says, I'm not going to walk a half a mile with a bum knee. So I told the lady, I says, listen, can you get me a ride? And sure enough, it was one of those little buggy things, like the little
Those
choo-choo
are
train
always
thing.
available.
Zip, 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 zip. Right? Those are really handy things to have, just so you
Frank
know. So if
says,
you have a problem, if you have a
Frank,
problem, don't speak up. Speak up.
Frank says,
Yeah.
if in Rome, go to the American Express near the Spanish Steps. Trying to figure out where I'm trying to picture where it is. If it's on the bottom of the Spanish Steps, Frank, when you're facing it, is it to the left or the right? Very interesting. Okay. By the way, Pat says, of course, Pete's rule. I'm looking forward to seeing Pat on our
Thank you,
Etna
Pat.
Day.
Thank you, Pat.
On our Etna Day. All right. Alfred, I'm not even going to read this. Alfred, sometimes you run over Esther. This
There's
is the
no
way
way
it
I
goes
run over it. You
between
know what the
us.
boss of this
But
relationship is?
how it goes between us. Sometimes he interrupts, sometimes I interrupt, but at the end, we all get that information out to you. So hopefully it is helpful and you learn a little bit from us. But if you guys have learned something, let me know in the comments what new things you have learned, if anything. And of course, if you're enjoying this video, hit the like, please. That really helps us, and share it with a friend who may be traveling. Okay. All right, honey. On that note, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yes, I wanted to finish today's live chat with a wonderful recipe that I made that I think people would enjoy. Okay. I made myself some broccoli chicken pasta today. Okay. And I made it the old fashioned Sicilian way. Now, in order to make this dish, it takes two pans. In the first pan, I ought to use the broccoli florets. Okay, the top part of the broccoli, unless I really want to cut up the other stuff. But let's just talk about the broccoli florets. And I put them in a pan of water with salt, and I cooked them for exactly 4 minutes. Bring it to a raw, angry boil. Put it in there for 4 minutes, and then with a strainer, take them out, put them to the side. Now, here's the secret. That broccoli water is what I use to cook my pasta. The pasta goes right into the smell of the broccoli goes right into the pasta. Esther, is awesome. In pan number 2, I get my EVOO and exactly 2 pieces of garlic, not 3, 4, 5, 2. Cut them up, put them in there, heat it up to release the the aroma. And then in there, I put my chicken pieces that I've cut up small, and I cook them. It usually takes 3 or 4 minutes. Then I'm keeping an eye on my pasta, which usually takes about 10 minutes. Then when the pasta looks like it's done, I take 1 ladle of the pasta water that has the starch in it, and I put it in the other pan. And then I strain out my pasta and put it in, mix it all together. And I'm telling you right now, it's the best pasta with broccoli and chicken that you could ever have. You put pepper on top of it, and then you put cheese on top of it. It
Sounds
also works good.
fantastic.
It also works good with cauliflower bunny.
Leaving for Sicily in a few days, says Lisa. I read somewhere that Sicily and Puglia require additional paperwork on top of the EU PDF. Is that true? No. No, you don't need to be tested. If you're vaccinated, you don't need to be tested. But let me tell you, Lisa, in less than 20, in about 24 hours, I'll know because I would have landed in Sicily. All right. Frank says it's on the left as you're facing the Spanish Steps. I just don't remember that. All right. On that note, thank you so much for spending this time with us. Thank you for supporting You, Me, and Sicily. And by the next show, which will be Sunday, our regular programming, I'll be in Sicily, sitting next to that guy right there. All right.
I'm really looking forward, Glenstone. I'm really looking forward to. It's been what, 5 weeks now since you've been gone,
5 weeks.
and I want the
I
whole
look
world to know.
forward to
Yes, I
seeing.
have missed her profoundly
I missed you
while
too,
she's gone.
honey.
It's very difficult when you're with somebody 24/7, 365. You wake up and then she's not around. Okay, so
No.
yes, I'm looking forward to having you here, and the refrigerator is all full of all your
Awesome,
favorite
honey.
veggies. Okay.
Awesome, honey. Thank you so much for watching. See you on another episode of You, Me, and Sicily. Arrivederci.
Sa benediga.